Good morning, everyone. This is Al Rody, and this is 8 for 8. We're at EFT Atlantic in beautiful downtown Halifax, Nova Scotia. It's not quite as sunny as it normally is. I'm actually doing a retake of today's 8 for 8, so for those of you who are listening to it who were on the live call, you may find it a little different because we captured no audio and no video for whatever reason, so I'm doing it again. Isn't that a gift? The thing I want to talk about today is resistance to resistance. Now, I had a wonderful workshop this weekend. There were 28 people who, I was so honored and blessed to have had 28 people share their time with me. On Saturday, we did a level 1 training workshop and we videotaped that workshop. It'll be for sale if you're interested. And they were kind enough. The energy in the room was amazing. The questions were great. The people were open and willing to learn new things, but also had lots of questions, and that was great too. In all of my private sessions and during every workshop and during Tuesday night group that we run here at EFT Atlantic, we talk a lot about the resistance factor. The fact is, with EFT, we change things fundamentally. My ear itches. And as things change fundamentally, we end up with fundamental resistance. We go back into those years between 1 and 5 when the core issues that we carry forward into our life, that have been, those core issues have kind of been implanted, and some of them are good ideas, like don't run out in traffic, but some of them are like you're a bad boy or you're not good enough or whatever it is. Those ideas are ideas that are better left unsaid and better left unaccepted by adults' subconscious as we run through our daily lives. And so what we're trying to do is reframe those ideas using EFT and Ho'oponopono. And in that reframing, we're attacking our safety and security that we have between the ages of 0 and 5. And so resistance, fundamental change is fundamentally scary. And so fundamental resistance rears its head. And so we get tapping for a few days, we start doing things and making progress, and stuff starts to come up. And then all of a sudden we stop doing it. And why do we do that? And you have all kinds of reasons not to do it. It's like, oh, I don't feel like it today. Or EFT's not really working for me. Or, there's all kinds of reasons. Or I just didn't get around to it. I'm really busy. I can't take 3 minutes while I'm in the shower or in the bathroom to tap on, this lifelong problem that I have. And so, And so the question is, why do we do that? And the answer, I really believe the answer is that we have this resistance thing going on. So I asked people to write down their limiting self-beliefs, and I asked people to write down their I want statements, the things that you want to change about your life, how you want your life to be different later on down the road. And I asked people to write all this stuff down, and then to prioritize it. We worked on our personal peace procedure that Gary Craig gave us. And if you don't know about the personal peace procedure, you just go into Gary Craig's emofree.com and type in personal peace procedure, and it'll show up, at least until Gary takes that website down. And on the personal peace procedure, when you're creating that, what you need to do now is take your number 1 issue and write it down. And take your number 2 issue and write it down in priority. And then I think around number 3 issue, you need to write down work on resistance to resistance. Because it's going to come up. It comes up for everybody. And so those people who have had such profound shift in their personal lives, Charles Fonseca and Bridget O'Coin, the people that come to mind that I talk about often, those people, Bridget said, well, whenever I felt resistance to tapping, I just tapped on the resistance and I kept on tapping. And I tapped over and over and over and over and over all day long, every day, until I no longer had scoliosis, until I no longer had allergies, until my relationship with my mother healed. And Charles the same way. Just keep on tapping. And if you have resistance, tap on the resistance. So write that down on your to-do list for EFT so that it's front and center. So as usual, I'm going to ask you, and please let me know on the blog how you feel about this, but I'm going to ask you to just listen to the words and absorb them rather than try and repeat them after me so that I can kind of stick with this stream of consciousness, okay? So I'm tapping on the karate chop point. Even though I have this resistance to whatever issue I am trying to release, I love and accept myself deeply and completely. Even though I feel resistance to doing EFT, perhaps I'm afraid that something is going to shift for the better. Oh well, I love and accept myself deeply and completely. Even though I have this resistance, I love and forgive myself for having this resistance. And I love and forgive myself for not noticing that I have this resistance, for making excuses for not doing EFT. Even though I have this resistance, to changing fundamental ideas about myself. Even though I have this resistance to changing fundamental ideas about myself, I love and forgive myself. I love and accept myself. I love and forgive myself deeply and completely. With every cell in my body, I love and forgive myself for having this resistance. I choose to heal completely and deeply. I choose to deeply and completely forgive myself. And I choose to do it in an allowing manner without any resistance whatsoever. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me and thank you. Well, I think that's the theme for today, resistance. Persistence wears down resistance. I would persist, be creative, keep trying different avenues, keep asking more creative questions, interview yourself. I find that useful, to interview yourself. And most of all, forgive yourself. Be grateful, and always be in a state of love for yourself and for everyone around you. This is Al Rodier, EFT Atlantic in Halifax, Nova Scotia. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me and thank you. Have a great week, and thank you so much for joining me on this call. Take care. Bye.